Mario movie is on track to be the highest grossing animated film of all time. Not bad for Nintendo's first movie, and the studio who made Secret Life of Pets. While audiences love this film, critics just seem to hate it. Why? How can there be a huge divide in audiences and critics' opinion? And who's in the right? What's for sure though is this movie has made its mark on animation history and may have some serious consequences for the future. Everybody went into the movie with their preconceived opinions on it ever since the cast was announced, and it just spiraled down since. Honestly, it was genius marketing from Nintendo. The shock factor of Seth Rogen playing Donkey Kong was enough to make me want to see it. The trailer caused even more controversy once people heard Chris Pratt's accent, or lack thereof, as Mario.
It's a Mario. That's not the voice. You'll have to wait to hear the voice.
Mix in the nostalgia factor in Illumination Studios, and you get yourself one of the most anticipated movies of the year. As for me, I thoroughly enjoyed the film. I was smiling from ear to ear, from beginning to end, and loved seeing my childhood on the big screen. And if you agree with me, then woohoo! You enjoyed this terrible movie too. Yup, you heard me. This movie kinda sucks.
It's a kids movie. Don't think. You can't think. It's a kids movie. What do you expect? An actual story?
Yes, I do.
Says the guy in a Mario costume.
Hey! Look, it's a fun, goofy movie, but the story is so bad, I'm pretty sure an 8-year-old me could have done better. I didn't go into it expecting much from it, and I'm glad I did, because it made the experience much more enjoyable. But speaking objectively, it's a mediocre kids movie. It's filled with plot holes, and I gave up trying to think during it. There's so much convenience, lack of depth, poor character motivations, and a bare-bones story. Probably because it's a kids movie, right? Wrong! Of course kids are gonna enjoy the movie. It literally has gaming's most legendary icon. It has their plushie as the lead character in the movie. Why wouldn't they? But kids aren't dumb. You don't have to make dumb, lazy stories and use "it's a kids movie" as an excuse. I grew up on stories like Up and Toy Story, which had extremely well thought out stories and messages behind them that even I, as a kid, was able to understand. As a bonus, these films are loved by all ages. And I know Illumination Studios has made movies like Despicable Me. They're not Pixar, I get it. But it's clear the sole purpose of the Mario movie was to promote Nintendo products as much as possible. It's almost like a backhanded movie that feels disingenuous. The film is a huge nostalgia trip for older Mario fans, which is why they'll enjoy it. You can't go 2 minutes without seeing another Nintendo reference. And although I ate that up like the little fanboy I am, it couldn't fill the desire in my heart for a satisfying narrative. And despite how the Mario movie is one of the highest grossing animated films, that doesn't equate to the quality of the story. In the race to the top, it managed to beat Frozen 1 and 2, which were arguably better in all aspects of storytelling, in my opinion. I also couldn't help but think how people who have no Mario knowledge would react to this film, and the critics' opinion answered my question. And wow, to my surprise, a lot of people were upset at them. There's a huge divide in opinions, making even more free marketing for Nintendo. There are things I enjoyed about the movie though, and I thought were well done, like the animation itself was awesome, and so were the visuals and details. The Nintendo soundtrack was my favorite part of the film. Well, actually, the best part was the Bowser and Luigi love scene. The voice acting specifically though was pretty silly. Seth Rogen did not convince me as Donkey Kong, which is a sentence I'd never thought I'd say. His laugh reminded me that I was in a theater watching a movie, but I thought Mario and Luigi were well voiced. Even Princess Peach too. Jack Black as Bowser was just okay. He pretty much was just himself and not Bowser. The licensed music in the film was awful and unoriginal and made zero sense within the context of the film. I guess granted, so many people unfairly expected an amazing, intricate movie filled with depth, but failed to think about the fact that the studio was making a film based off of a game that in itself didn't have much of a story or pre-existing interpersonal relationships to work off of. But with that being said, the lack of pre-existing storyline gave them the opportunity to do whatever they wanted. The ideas should have been endless. There was so much they could have expanded upon, but they came up with a lazy, one-dimensional story. It's a cop-out! The laziness of the film further adds to the stigma that the animation medium is only for kids and can't have the depth to connect with all demographics. This leads to animation being largely overlooked at awards ceremonies, like the Oscars, when they very much deserve and can compete with live-action films.
Animated films make up some of our most formative movie experiences as kids.
So many kids watch these movies over and over
And over and over and over and over and over.
Remember the Minions trend? When people wore literal suits to the movie theater because it's a dumb kids movie? Because of social media, like TikTok, people love to ironically enjoy and make fun of these poorly made stories, which continues to polarize people from animation. So studios are going to take notice of this and create low-effort movies in order to exploit audiences, hiding behind the excuse that it's made for children. I think we're going to see this more and more in future films, as well as the NCU, Nintendo Cinematic Universe. Animation is in a weird place of time when there's so much debate over the validity of it that it's getting harder and harder to enjoy. And who was really in the rights of the debates over the Mario movie? No one was. Except for me. I'm just kidding, it's technically a bit of both. Critics are being way too hard on the film and audiences are definitely overhyping the movie. If it didn't have the Mario name attached, I don't think it would be so upheld. And critics definitely need to take a step back and chill with these reviews. I hate to say it, but who cares? It really is just a dumb kids movie. But I think we should hold the Mario movie and future animations to a higher standard, because films, like the Lego movie, have shown us that previously existing companies are capable of telling thought-provoking stories for everyone to enjoy. So yeah, the Mario movie is officially the most movie of all movies. You know what? It's actually not that bad.